Hey everybody, welcome to Two Over Comics. I'm Steve.
And I'm Mike.
And Mike, it's been a while, huh? We took a week
Yeah,
off.
took another week off. You know, we're finding ourselves, seeing who we are as human beings and as men. He was sick. That's probably why. But...
what a week I had. I had, according to my doctor, a ragweed allergy, which turned to it just snowballed into ridiculous proportions where I ended up getting conjunctivitis, which I didn't know a full-grown man could get.
I didn't think we could still get zits, and we still do.
I'm
36 years old, I get zits. What the hell?
That's stressed out, you know.
Yeah.
Stress.
I don't get as much as I used to now that I have my new job, but hey.
Well, there you go. See, now you're getting it.
But I'm married now, so the hair's going.
Well, you know.
Sorry, what's going before this?
What did you do this weekend? Anything good?
We went down to see a comedian in Boston. Jeff Carradine. No, not Jeff. What the hell's his name? I'm fucking awful with names.
Jeffy C.
He was hilarious. We went to go out to eat. Then it was my aunt's birthday dinner yesterday, and that's about it. And then that's the average life of 36.
That's a domestic life, yeah. You know.
So, what was your weekend like?
I went to I was at Deerfield Fair yesterday, and I had a smorgasbord of fair food. So the way I feel right now, you ever see Saw 2?
No.
Well, there's a scene at the end of Saw 2 where Donnie Wahlberg he's hunting down the killer, and then he goes gets locked into this room, and he sees these bodies. They're the people from the original Saw movie that are still there, years and years later. I feel like those bodies right now after eating all the food, food is sitting out all different kinds.
Deerfield Field like a hillbilly paradise.
It's hillbilly paradise. It's all
tractor racing. And
there's so many
Trump and
there's so many Trump 2020 T-shirts and signs there. It's hillbilly mania. The food there is great though, even though it's been sitting out at who knows what temperature. You look at if you put a thermometer in there, it'd be like the Matrix, just codes of numbers.
You might get violently ill, but hey.
But it was delicious. I scoped out. They had a Polish food stand, which of course I had to check out because you know me, I'm a connoisseur of the pierogi.
Well, we just found out there's a Filipino restaurant in downtown Lowell. Obviously, I'm not Filipino, but my wife is, and there's no good Filipino food out here, restaurant style. So we're gonna check that out.
You have to.
Yeah.
Taste it all. Taste delicious foods.
I mean, I'm Irish. We have potatoes and beer. That's about it.
And corned beef and cabbage.
Corned beef, cabbage.
Which is a disgusting... I'm half Irish, and what a disgusting meal corned beef and cabbage is.
Disgusting, but yummy.
You'll
be failing that when you go blow your butt out in the bathtub. Bathtub. Whatever you choose to shit.
Yeah, you know.
Toilet.
We got a couple of topics we're going to talk about today. We're going to play it a little loose today. Before we have one kind of a little big announcement we're going to make at the end. Yeah. Pretty much. But the first one we're going to talk about is...
I'm pregnant.
Mike with child.
I'm a man. Men don't get pregnant.
Everybody knows you don't get pregnant if you watch Magic Mike in a thunderstorm.
I know what I'm doing tonight. Even though there's no thunderstorms in the area.
We're gonna talk about one thing first, but I'm gonna skip it only because it's kind of with us. It's a little redundant, but you know what it's going to be. It involves comic book movie news, so you can kind of,
Even though I tell you every single time, man, we really got to stick away from Spider-Man because we do it every episode.
You gave it away, Mike. God damn it. Let's talk about Spider-Man.
Sorry, I jumped the gun.
So what happened, Mike?
So last Friday, while we were at work, so we didn't get to do a video, Spider-Man was back in the MCU, and I was happy. When I heard about this, I was coming back from lunch. I have zero service at work, so I couldn't really text Steve right away about it because you probably already knew. I was ecstatic.
What did I tell you?
I was
still negotiating. Even,
but I was so happy that Spidey's back in the MCU, at least for one more movie and one more guest appearance, and a Spider-Man gets swapped back between the Sony universe and the Marvel universe.
We'll see. I mean, that's kind of the rumor right now. What we know for sure is they're wrapping up the trilogy, the MCU trilogy with John Watts and the cast. They let that kind of a cliffhanger, so that was kind of the right thing to do, I guess. I mean, you could. I mean, I know how you could have made it work, but I mean, it's kind of easier this way. Yeah. And why roll the dice if you don't have to? I guess.
And they're doing a Madam Web movie. It really seems like Sony really wants to move forward with a live-action Spider-Verse movie.
Which is smart.
Yeah. I mean...
Not the Spider-Verse, I'm going to talk about the storyline Spider-Verse or the movie they just did Spider-Verse, but actually branching off with, a bunch of micro-franchises. Yeah. Which is the right thing to do.
No, I mean, I think legitimate there's going to be a live-action Spider-Verse movie.
Oh, maybe. I mean...
Based on... I think... And since they're using Madam Web, I think it's going to be loosely based off the '90s cartoon one, where Madam Web kind of go between dimensions and whatnot.
I think that'd be cool. I mean, if you guys subscribe to our channel, you know I kind of pitch kind of a loose interpretation of Spider-Verse involving Smythe and Madam Web and the original Spider-Man, Toby, Andrew, and
because why else would you have Madam Web?
Yeah,
solo.
But I mean, I think I'd be down with that. Not only would it'd be interesting to see, because Madam Web, the original Madam Web anyway, not the Julie Carpenter one, she's kind of shrouded in mystery a little bit, so you don't really know much about her. So it'd be nice to know how she got her powers and like her journey to where she is right now, and it would be also be cool to have like an elderly handicapped woman, who's like at the center of this like web of destiny or like or the Spider-Verse and kind of like
because the original Madam Web had nothing really to do with that.
She was just, I think, like almost like a fortune teller, pretty much. But
that great Juggernaut issue of Spider. That was a really good issue.
But I think it wasn't until like the cartoon
where they original Spider-Verse,
and then Dan Slott took it to like a whole new level, and then killed her off. Well, he didn't. I think Joe Kelly killed her off. Yeah. So Joe Kelly can do what he wants. He wrote I Killed Giants, so he can pass. And so so anyway, so that's kind of where we're at right now. Where Tom Holland, did you see Tom Holland's post on Friday?
Yeah, I posted something about the Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh my God,
I'm never leaving, or I'm back, or something like that.
It was so funny. He did the scene from Wolf of Wall Street where he's like, "I'm not fucking going." I forget how it exactly goes because I've never seen Wolf of Wall Street all the way through, but
me neither.
I didn't know it was Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
So So now we're hearing that he's gonna do one more cameo, one more movie. And now we're hearing that he can bounce back and forth between Sony and Marvel going forward.
So hopefully that's something they can do moving forward instead of, I heard a report that Kevin Feige might be writing Spider-Man out of the MCU in Spider-Man 3, but that'll eliminate his appearance in the Avengers or Fantastic Four, whatever it is they're going to
I think it'd be really dumb. Kevin Feige is a pretty well-documented Spider-Man fan. He actually started his career working on the original Spider-Man movies with Sam Raimi.
Really?
So like Sam Raimi actually, a lot of people think like Sam Raimi just kind of like they came up the ground like when MCU started. He actually worked on all those old like Daredevil, Ghost Rider, X-Men, Spider-Man. He worked on all those movies, and that's what he could promote into the MCU when they started with Iron Man 1 in 2008. Yeah. So Feige, he's a huge Spider-Man fan. He also supposedly secretly worked a little bit on the Venom movie too. But I don't think Kevin Feige, if it was up to him anyway, would write Spider-Man out. I think if it was up to him,
it'd be silly to do that.
My ideal situation for Spider-Man would be to have a solo Spider-Man Spider-Man movies in the Sony universe, and then cameos in the MCU. Like have him show up at the Fantastic Four, looking for a paycheck.
Movies,
I want to see him fight Wolverine. I want to see him on the Hulk shoulders. And like and like any other good Marvel crossover, you have like Spider-Man show up and say, "Hey, can I lend a hand?" As far as big Spider-Man stories, none of them really involve the MCU, so you can have solo stories in the Sony universe. I also think Sony would be wise to kind of go forward with their Spider-Verse plans. Go forward with the Spider-Gwen universe, 2099, Miles Morales. I heard, I don't know how true this is. I think I read it on Screen Rant or something, that a couple of things I didn't know about Sony. We all complain about like Spectacular Spider-Man getting canceled. Apparently, Sony is well within their rights to continue with that series. They have to be movies though. They have to be over 45 minutes. So if Sony wanted to, they can make animated Spectacular Spider-Man movies.
That would be awesome.
They can also make live-action Spider-Man TV shows and other animated shows. They have to be.
Do they have the rights for? Well, now they probably do.
They have to be They have to be over 40 minutes or 45 minutes. So they have to basically be like TV movies, pretty much.
So they could do their own Spider-Man Plus, Sony Plus.
That's what I heard. That's why all these lower tier characters like what's his name, Nightwatch. And Silk. I heard what they want to do with them is make like TV shows out of them. I've also heard, I don't know if this is true or not. Again, I just heard these things. I was sick. I was pretty feverish last week, so I might have been a fever dream. I also heard they've signed with Lord Miller for a 5-year deal. Those are the guys who brought you Spider-Verse movie, and also like the Lego movie and 21 Jump Street. Pretty cool guy. They were on Solo, and that's you can tell like there was parts of that movie that were good. And then they got fired, and then.
When this would probably be a good thing to lead into our next topic. I loved Solo. I thought it was like a zillion times better than fucking Last Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
By far.
I think it had a lot of potential. I would have liked. Han Solo is one of my favorite Star Wars characters. I love like space pirate bounty hunter stuff.
Yeah.
But I just think they didn't. It was great in theory, and I think there was just too many soups in the.
That might have been the one that was
soups in the kitchen. Too many cooks making the soup.
Better at the Disney Plus, and I would rather have a Obi-Wan Kenobi trilogy.
Mandalorian looks fucking great.
Are they gonna be just stand around and be useless like Boba Fett?
I don't know. It looks pretty good. Well, here's the thing: when I saw the trailer for Mandalorian, I was like, "Was that so hard?" Like, you know, I like just going forward and creating something new. Like I don't. I mean, as much as I love those characters, I don't want no goddamn Chewbacca anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want any like, you know, Luke Skywalker. I don't want any of that crap. I want new characters. There's so much universe out there to explore, but we're still a hop on the same characters. I want to see.
You watching Marvel Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mister?
I know. I'm excited about it.
Good.
Honestly, and I'll tell you this right now. I like the prequels better than the original trilogy.
I wouldn't say I like them better. I like them equally. I will fight anyone who thinks those movies suck because I don't think they suck by at all.
I mean, special effects wise, of course they don't hold up.
You know what Star Wars movie sucked?
Which one?
The fucking Last Jedi. That movie sucked.
Last Jedi, I don't like Last Jedi. I'll say my least favorite. Besides I kind of put the Disney franchise in a different category. As far as the original, the Lucas Star Wars, my least favorite Star Wars movie is A New Hope. I think that movie is so boring.
I just love them all. Every movie except Last Jedi I hated, and I don't care if we get hate mail from how many viewers we have, but fucking Last Jedi. Well, actually, I think all of our viewers hate Last Jedi, but Last Jedi was pure garbage.
Yeah,
it completely ignored 3/4 of Force Awakens, and then just decided to do its own thing.
It looked cool. I mean,
it looked cool, but
if it was like I couldn't hear anything or connect any of the story, I would enjoy it much more.
The biggest problem with Last Jedi, even Force Awakens, I liked Force Awakens, but the biggest thing is there was too much of a gap between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. Granted, yes, we got the 1, 2, and 3 kind of in that gap.
Yeah.
But they should have done a new movie. Force Awakens, should have been, episode 9
at that point, Lucas
should have been before that. And then Force Awakens and Last Jedi still would have sucked, but it wouldn't have sucked as bad because then we would have found out why, Princess Leia has fucking Jedi powers. And not everyone reads the comic books.
Yeah, I know.
And the Marvel books only just rely around the original fucking trilogy too.
No, I know, yeah. Speaking of Star Wars and damage control after The Last Jedi, guess who's producing a new Star Wars movie?
Kevin Feige.
Your boy, Kevin Feige.
I've seen people on there complaining about him doing it. Like, he ruined the MCU. I'm like, false. He didn't.
He started the MCU. How do you
anyone complaining about him messing the MCU, the ones that want the exact comic book to be in a movie. Like, from panel to panel. They want the goofy thing to be on there. It doesn't work. People
are complaining that Kevin Feige is ruining the MCU. I think what they're complaining is like the current slate, Phase 4, which is being called the MCU, which is basically they're kind of doing the Axel Alonso era, where they're, which I mean, I don't know. I'm not really too excited about much coming in Phase 4.
It has nothing to do with the diversity thing. It's just that. What can they do out of this?
I don't like Doctor Strange sounds kind of cool because I think they're going to kind of do House.
I am excited about Captain America and Falcon. Provided they stay away from all that political nonsense that they did in this book.
I don't think they're going to.
I mean, they're doing John Walker, isn't he like a racist or something like that? Or
he's from the Deep South.
Yeah.
So obviously they're gonna I think they're gonna lean into that and like he's got a big problem with Sam Wilson being Captain America.
I don't think I mind that type, but it seemed like they went really deep on the political stuff.
It just seems they're gonna jump on their soapbox with that show, which is a shame because it could be a really great like Tom Clancy type
I still wish we could see Bucky as Cap just one episode.
Maybe we will. I don't know. Maybe they have that What If show coming up. I could not care any less about Eternals. I've
Me neither.
One of the few people who've actually read Eternals, all the volumes, not just the Neil Gaiman one that people have read. And there's a reason why Jack Kirby is known as a great artist and not a writer, because that book is so boring. And there's a reason why the franchise never took off. And I don't think Angelina Jolie and Salma Hayek and whoever else, and Jon Snow, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I think this might introduce the mutants.
No interest in that. I mean, I think Scarlet Witch is going to introduce the mutants and actually create mutants, but mutant gene anyway. And everything Shang-Chi seems like, you know, I would love it if they made it. But I don't think they're going to make it the way I want them to, and it seems like they're really just fumbling at every turn. As far as that goes,
I feel like at this point the X-Men should still be in their own universe.
Yeah,
Marvel producing it. You can get away with, like, I think we briefly talked in another episode, and of course you guys know because you subscribe. How the Fantastic Four were like forgotten, and they were off in a parallel universe. You know, finding different Earths like they did in Secret Wars.
You kind of do like a Sentry thing where they were made to forget.
Yeah,
pretty much. Peyton Reed, the guy who did Ant-Man, had a great pitch for the Fantastic Four movie, and he said, "Just do the Beatles' Hard Day's Night with Fantastic Four, where they're just like these huge mega celebrities, and then that's why they worked it out somehow, so the public forgot about them. Yeah. Whatever. I think that'd be great. I'd like to see Peyton Reed.
Yeah, they got to do something where they've forgotten about, and then they come back and like, who are these guys? So that only makes sense for them to be.
You don't have. You don't have to like. I mean, you can do that. You can do a brand new team, whatever you want to do. I mean, Fantastic Four's pretty easy.
If they can make Captain Marvel be one of the first superheroes. Now.
Yeah. But anyway, we talked about Kevin Feige doing Star Wars. If that doesn't scream damage control, I don't know what does.
Because they still want to do more trilogies after this, which I'm fine with. Everyone complains about it, but if without this, we wouldn't have any new Star Wars movies.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
I think like everybody says like Rian Johnson, is that his name?
He's still getting another trilogy apparently.
Listen, I don't care if you just don't do what you did. I'm not gonna get into Comicsgate stuff. Yeah. I'm not gonna get into like that kind of like incel stuff. We know what you were doing, all right? And you're doing.
Yeah, you were making a shitty movie.
Yeah, and you're doing the same thing in that new Clue ripoff movie you're doing too. Just like like this, make a cool science fiction movie like you did with Looper, and it'll all be good because clearly you know how to shoot a movie. The movie looked great, but just like knock it off. Well, again, you know what you're doing.
Not to go deep into the old comics or anything like that. I didn't notice any of that. I just noticed that the movie sucked.
I noticed it. It was very heavy-handed as far as I'm concerned, with a certain purple-haired Laura Dern. But
she's coming back for Jurassic Park.
That's great. That's great news. Oh, that's one thing. I didn't have that on the list of topics. That's one thing I want to talk about. Not so much the new Jurassic Park coming up because I'm sure these Sam Neill. Laura Dern.
Laura Dern, something Dern.
And Jeff Goldblum all coming back.
Yep.
I'm sure they're going to be regulated to small cameos. Like Jeff Goldblum was in the last one for like a minute and a half.
I heard the kids want to come back too.
That's fine with me. Bring everybody back for one last hurrah because as far as I'm concerned, Jurassic Park 1 was great and we didn't need to tell any more stories after that. But I did see that what do you call it? That short film that was on Battle of Big Rock, whatever it was. Did you watch that?
No.
They have some video that somebody made it's supposed to take place after the last Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom movie, I think it was called. And it's basically now like Walking Dead with dinosaurs, where dinosaurs just live among us now.
I think that's what the new movie's going to be about.
You know what? I didn't see the last one because, like I said, I don't really... I think we said all we needed to say of the first Jurassic Park.
It wasn't as good as Jurassic World 2 wasn't as good as the first one, but it was good.
But I mean, I'm down with that. Like you just have living in a world of dinosaurs. I think because I never really mentioned it before, but I'm a huge fan of Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Oh,
anybody remembers that?
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna try and get that game for Sega CD.
Oh my god!
Cadillacs or find the arcade game.
What a forgotten gem. So speaking of things that were time was made to forget, Cadillacs and dinosaurs. Just like I
remember playing that in the arcade. It was a beat 'em up, and I know at one point you drive your car in it too, and you're like trying to escape dinosaurs or something. And
brawny dudes with Cadillacs and big buxomous women and dinosaurs and just it was what a great setup. Obviously you can't
Actually, I think I'm gonna try and find the arcade game because I think the Sega CD one is just motion control live action garbage. So, but I'll check it out.
But if that's a setup for Jurassic Park, the new one, I'm all for that. I mean, the movie, the short film was pretty well done, except for the dinosaurs were like ninjas, I guess, because you couldn't hear them come anywhere, come from anywhere. And
I feel like the books were always leaning towards that. What? Even from the original Jurassic Park movie, it seemed like if you do this, they will become a dominant species again.
Jeff Goldblum, he foreshadowed that in the first Jurassic Park. Life, we'll find a
Life
way.
land. Except in probably up here in Boston, it'll be too cold for the dinosaurs and they'll die.
Yeah.
So we're safe up here again. It seems like we're safe up here in every sci-fi disaster genre movie. I Am Legend, safe up here.
When it comes to zombies, dinosaurs, and sports, all we do is win, no matter what.
That movie with Tom Cruise. What the fuck was it called?
Recently?
No, it was years ago. The aliens came up from the underground.
Oh,
War of the Worlds.
World of the Worlds, yeah.
We were safe up here. They couldn't handle the cold, so we're so safe up here.
Yeah. So what? So that's the Jurassic Park news, I guess. The Kevin Feige thing. As far as Kevin Feige thing, we kind of glossed over that.
I think he's going to do a phenomenal job.
How thin though can this guy get spread before he's?
I think if they put him on Star Wars, they're taking him off Marvel. They might have a successor for him, or he's going to be kind of in the background.
That'd be up to him. I don't think that would be a bad move because honestly, like I mentioned before, I don't think Marvel can maintain the same momentum it has.
And if they take him off Marvel, unless they have a successor, like literally his clone almost, in the way he thinks, one of them is going to suffer, and all for nothing. I don't want it to be the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I've heard before the whole James Gunn thing happened. I heard they were going to kind of break up into kind of like fractions as far as like the cosmic Marvel universe. Gunn was going to kind of take control of like Guardians and Fantastic Four and that kind of thing. And I don't know if that's still a plan. I don't know if it's just a one-off where Feige just is just on his bucket list.
Gunn might like to diddle kids, but he's still good at making movies.
Allegedly.
I'm sorry. Allegedly.
What's the other thing? The other thing we want to talk about is the Batman movie. It's kind of shaping up into reality a little bit. We've had some naysayers in our circle who aren't really looking forward to that. Not a big fan.
They'll remain nameless.
But we've had two casting announcements. Rumored, but not really rumored, kind of like happening. One was Jonah Hill as maybe the Penguin or the Riddler.
I already wanted to get the paid same amount as
more. I think it was going to pay like $100,000, $10 million, something like that.
Than the actual star of the movie.
And he wants to play the Riddler, which listen, Jonah, just lean into it.
Yeah.
You're the Penguin, and honestly, you don't have to go fat blob like Danny DeVito puking up like black bile.
Yeah.
Go I've seen you in the Scorsese movies and in Moneyball and that kind of, go unlock your inner Joe Pesci and and go that route. Go Joe Pesci, Casino, Goodfellas, and go that route. And you make an awesome Penguin. I think he has a look for it. I would love Jonah Hill to do his best Joe Pesci.
This is the first time that I've been excited about a DC movie.
Oh.
And I don't know if it's going to be part of the cinematic universe, and this is going to take place in the past, like a past Batman story. And I have no love for Batman now in the comic books. The way they made him unbeatable, he's a god now apparently, and that whole metal storyline where he turned into a Batman Flash, Batman this.
And we'll talk about that in a second too. This movie seems to be kind of based on Year One and Long Halloween. Long Halloween seems to be getting thrown out a lot, which I don't know how you could do in one movie. Plus, there's 13 villains in that. So if they're planning on doing that, introducing all the Batman rogues,
that has to be a trilogy.
That's pretty cool, though. But
it would be cool, but I think it would suck if they get all villains in all one movie. Then that's it.
Yeah, but what they did in have you ever read Long Halloween?
I think I read the first few episodes.
What they do in Long Halloween is basically every month they have another villains with that. Some of them they kind of double up. One time they do Mad Hatter and what's his name, Scarecrow in 1 month and stuff. But and the whole thing ends up being basically the origin of Harvey Dent, Harvey Dent and his wife and Two-Face. If they introduce everybody, if they can afford it, go for it. One thing DC knows how to do is how to sell Batman.
Yeah.
They may not know how to make a Superman movie or a Green Lantern movie, but they can sure as hell make a Batman movie.
Well, they did know how to make a Superman movie. That was in the 70s.
Yeah. Oh, that's another way. More okay, before I go into that, what's the other thing with the Batman movie? The other casting is Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon.
Oh, yes. I wouldn't mind that.
Love that casting.
Westworld.
Yeah, Westworld.
I see him as someone else. I think he was in...
He's in Casino Royale too.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
The one thing please keep that British accent. That's to me. I love that casting. I never would have thought of it ever. For me, I always thought Brian.
Well, he didn't have the British accent in
Casino Royale. He did.
Yeah. No, yeah, because he's the American operative. He was with the CIA.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, I think for some reason he had some kind of weird accent though.
Yeah, but it wasn't British. Though.
It wasn't British.
That's why.
Whatever accent he has, keep that. In Westworld, he's basically Commissioner Gordon anyway.
Yeah.
To an extent. I always, for me, I was always like Bryan Cranston, like or something. I mean, like Jeffrey Wright. I'm all for that, and like that leads into the like question like would Barbara Gordon be like
Dick Grayson have Dick. I know we were talking about it over the phone. I would love to have Dick Grayson be in this, but maybe in the first movie, just kind of make him be there and make him more of a presence, put more focus on him in the second movie, because we never really got a great Robin yet.
Chris O'Donnell wasn't a great Robin.
No, he wasn't. He was a combination of like Dick Grayson. They always do a combination of Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. And then in the animated series, they did a combination of Jason Todd and Tim Drake, and then in the I want to say the newest Arkham Knight video game, which was out like 3 or 4 years ago, it was a combination of Tim Drake and Damian Wayne. I just want actual Robin, not a combination of two.
We were watching Batman Forever was on the other day. And
I'm sorry.
And the part where his parents died and he has to go live with Bruce Wayne. Yeah. It's like he's like 30 years old.
Yeah, I know.
Like let him go where he wants to go. Yeah. And like that. Oh my!
They couldn't get somebody younger to do this.
Yeah. Like why social services gonna come down and fill out paperwork? You're in your 30s.
Yeah.
Like
you're supposed to be a teenager.
You could have served 2 terms in the army or two.
Right. Tobey Maguire looked like a fucking younger Peter Parker than this fucking guy, Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah. I always thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, I mean Jeffrey Wright. I mean that'd be cool. I can't wait to see more casting. I can't wait for the movie to come out.
I think this movie, if they do it right, is gonna knock every other Batman movie out of the water.
Yeah,
even our favorite, the Batman Returns of Batman.
Oh my god! I mean,
you can put these fucking Christian Bale people to sleep.
Listen. For me, Batman's kind of like Ninja Turtles. There's really no bad Batman movies.
Yeah.
I mean, not made for Mike, but there is.
Batman and Robin and Batman Forever are pretty up there on that list.
I can even appreciate those. To me, if Guardians of the Galaxy gets a pass, then there's no reason why Batman and Robin shouldn't get a pass too.
It can't,
because they're both like equally stupid and disrespectful to the characters. So, the other question, what do we have? Oh. The new Batman writer got announced in the comics, James Tynion or Tom Tynion, Tim Tynion.
Yeah, I think so. I haven't heard the.
He's a guy who wrote the Batman Ninja Turtles series. He also wrote Batman Eternal.
I said it before. I still rather see a Daredevil Ninja Turtles, but all right.
Kevin Eastman actually said he drew that, wrote that. That's sitting in somebody's desk in Marvel somewhere, and it'll probably never see the light of day. No. But anyway, so when I heard that, if you guys follow us on Twitter, I actually championed a guy named Brian Shermer, who wrote this book called Fair Lady.
Yeah, we got a lot of hits on that.
Yeah, I don't know if you,
including him himself
and his wife also.
Yeah.
But I really want, because for me, if you ever read Fair Lady, it was 5 issues. I guess he didn't have enough money, he wasn't selling enough copies to keep the series going. But it's basically like a detective story built in like World of Warcraft type setting. It's so good, and it's like almost like Law and Order, where like there's like just one and done detective stories, and the art was like really great and like colorful and like it really fit. Like I would have loved to see that creative team go on Batman, and I was really like just like pressing hard for it, tweeting at Jim Lee and DC and stuff, and then we ended up getting James Tynion. I think his name is James. I'm gonna keep calling him James Tynion. Tynion the Fourth. And so, but it is what it is. He seems like a nice enough guy. He came from that whole Scott Snyder writing workshop thing.
Right.
So and he also co-writes Justice League with Scott Snyder. So that's
I'm not dissing Scott Snyder's work per se. Is that he made Batman unlikable for me.
That's what I'm gonna say. I'm not a big fan of the Scott Snyder. What Tynion now is kind of in that he has that stink on him now. A lot of people like Scott Snyder. There's some stuff I enjoy he does. I like that.
I think his love for Batman kind of also destroyed my love for Batman.
With Scott Snyder?
He made it obvious that he wanted Batman to be the supreme fucking leader of DC Comics.
He's very much like he took like Grant Morrison's Batman and kind of cranked up to an 11, which needed not be cranked up to 11 because Grant Morrison's Batman was already pretty ridiculous. Yeah. Which I love Grant Morrison's Batman, but he kind of
when he was Dick Grayson, right? I didn't mind Dick Grayson Batman.
He did Batman Rest in Peace. I mean,
that was fucking awesome.
And he also Grant Morrison's responsible for the prep time Batman, which is okay. I mean, like it's kind of sometimes a little unfeasible. He started that in Justice League, but then like Snyder just kind of took it like way too far. I think, especially in like Dark Knight Metal and all that. Kind of stuff.
That really killed it for me. When Batman had the powers of every Flash at one point and Doomsday. Ugh.
So to me, when I saw the new writer, I was kind of like more of the same. I was really hoping for something different and something fresh and something cool.
It seems like Detective Comics were doing no more self-contained Batman.
Well, this guy actually, the writer who's writing it now, he's actually wrote Detective Comics during Rebirth with Clayface and Tim Drake on team too. So I didn't really read that run that much. I mean, I'm not too familiar with the guy, to be honest, besides the Turtles, Batman stuff. So we'll see how it goes. But to me, I mean, it's kind of really typical of what DC is right now, where it's just like Jim Lee is not a creative. Yeah. He's kind of like, well, I think this works, so we'll just put this on there, like, you know.
I haven't been a fan of anything Batman related, Bat Family related. Up one, now Young Justice I have, but hence pre-52.
The only thing that I read from DC, I love Tom King's Batman. I don't care what any of you say.
It's popular to hate Tom King.
It'll stand the test of time. You'll see. I'm going to do a runs video on that too. I read Grant Morrison's Green Lantern only because I love Grant Morrison and I like the whole like it's almost like a space cop type thing. Like I like it a lot. And what's the other one I'm reading? Young Justice I'm reading also.
I'm reading Batman Beyond, but the whole Two-Faced, False Face storyline is taking way too fucking long. And Young Justice. I really was afraid that Bendis was gonna not really respect continuity, not that DC does, but because they set up in that Detective Comics run, where Tim Drake got kidnapped by Mr. Oz, and they also introduced in that big part where they brought back the evil Tim Drake as Batman, the evil Batman from the Jeff Johns Teen Titans, Titans of Tomorrow, whatever it was called, and older Tim said to Tim like, oh, just don't forget about Connor and Ken. He's like, who's Connor? Yeah. So Bendis brought that into Young Justice, and for some reason, everyone forgot about Kid Flash and Connor Kent, and that they were all on a team together.
See, I can't tell if I like that book or not, or if I'm just like, he's throwing so much fan service at me that I'm just like, you know.
I think it's fan service, but I only think he knows how to write teenagers.
He does that. Yeah, I would agree with that. But as far as I mean, I feel like DC thought they were getting 2004 Bendis, and they're getting 2014 Bendis.
Well, they're getting 2004 Bendis with Young Justice. I will praise his Young Justice book from here till fucking Maine or whatever you want to call it. I just think he's doing a phenomenal job in that book. I'm actually looking forward to a DC title, and they haven't in a long time.
Yeah, well, I mean, there you go.
Yeah. So now pick it up.
Just kind of the one thing I liked with the Young Justice one, they had the Kingdom Come characters. That's kind of I'm just
so that I didn't mean to interrupt you in that. Yeah. That I was so mad at that though that was just one issue.
And plus, all the characters talk like typical Bendis characters, especially Alan Scott, Green Lantern, which I hated. I only use that as a segue because we got our first glimpse at Brandon Roth as Kingdom Come Superman.
Yes.
Holy cow, does he look terrific!
I will defend him as Superman from the day I die. He was a great Superman. Superman Returns. He got a shitty movie. Shitty movie and plot. And would you turn down a Superman movie if you were like, Chris, we want you to be Superman? Like, okay.
You know what? I don't even think Superman Returns was that bad. I think it was a little. I mean, it was a little like a slow burn, wasn't enough action. But I mean, I think like Singer was just trying to like pay homage to Donner and also set up a new like franchise pretty much. The kid thing, it was a little like I think
the fact that he never threw a punch, kind of like Tom Holland Spider-Man. They focus more on his abilities.
That's the thing right there. That's my complaint about it. Also, the part where Luthor has the kryptonite, and he asks whose kid that is because he's kind of flinching, and she says, "Oh, it's I forget the guy, James Marsden's name was it?" But he says, "Are you sure?" And he said, "That should have been it. There should have been no more resolution. They shouldn't have said. They shouldn't have just said there was this kid. They should have just kind of left it up in the air a little bit. Yeah, but we as the audience would have known it was him."
The biggest problem with Superman Returns is that it was just basically a remake of the first Richard Donner one.
And Bryan Singer admitted that too. Like
it was all about him having land again. Kevin Spacey is a fucking lunatic now, and
he is. But he makes memorable characters.
He does. He played a phenomenal. And you know what? I wouldn't mind him back as Lex Luthor again. It's not going to happen because no one's going to cast him.
I know. Listen, I'm very good at separating art from artists, but a lot of people aren't. And like some of the things I hear about him are kind of like inexcusable and like unforgivable. Definitely. But honestly, I mean, I don't know how much of a fight I put up if
I would not.
Back as Lex
or
Luthor.
Cranston would play a good Lex Luthor.
I always thought this is kind of like me being that guy, but I always thought Denzel Washington would be a good Lex Luthor also.
They're trying to. There's rumor he might be Doctor Doom, but
I'll be down with that. I mean, Denzel...
No, not Doctor Doom. Magneto.
Oh, yeah, but isn't Magneto like from like Auschwitz though?
A Jewish guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we'll stay away from that.
Yeah, do not touch.
Yeah.
But anyway, Brandon Roth looks great as Superman.
My God!
I want a Kingdom Come movie now so bad. And I was actually talking to another guy who runs a YouTube channel on Twitter, and honestly, between this and Joker, if the future of DC Universe is...
Joker! I can't wait for that crap fest.
I don't care what he says. I cannot. Joker is gonna. I said it when the trailer first came out. I'm like, this movie is gonna be excellent, and everybody worth their salt has already said it's excellent, except for those people who are trying to like make excuses for like incels and this and that. But I think Joker looks great. But honestly, anyway, I'm not gonna. We'll wait till the movie comes out.
You can do your review, and I can sit there and sleep while you're doing it.
And I can just sit there, and the title of the video will be Vindication.
No vindication on my side. I can care less about the Joker.
But I'm more interested in that.
I really apples and oranges. Like you want Spider-Man, I want Spider-Man on the Avengers. You don't apples and oranges.
Me and Mike both love fruit, but we're apples and oranges though.
Agree to disagree. I would love. It seems like the DC TV is copying Marvel's formula, which fucking phenomenal. But the DC cinematic universe. It's like, oh, it's over here, then down here, then what's that over there? Nonsense.
To me, if the future of DC is Elseworlds, I'm all for that. Yeah. If I get like a Kingdom Come movie, like a Dark Knight Returns movie,
Batman Beyond.
Like
the only good thing that would have happened out of the MCU getting rid of Spidey was that Michael Keaton would have been free to do old Bruce Wayne.
I think he still is. I think.
Well, we're getting, like I said, Kevin Conroy as Bruce Wayne, so I can only assume it's Kingdom Come or...
Yikes.
Well, wait, now they could do Kingdom Come, him as... Yikes, right, but... You can either do Batman Beyond or Kingdom Come.
So I think that's it. That, as far as the main, our comic book news topic, I think that's it. We have one more announcement we're going to make. Mm-hmm. We're decided to kind of change things up a little bit. We're still going to be doing comic book videos.
Yep.
You guys, anybody paying attention knows Mike's been working hard on the Friday Night Game Night.
Yep.
Very soon, we're getting dangerously close. We're going to start releasing some videos pretty much of all the video game goodness. But what we decided to do was kind of take the comic books and the video games and some other stuff we have planned, and we're kind of consolidating it under one umbrella, and we're calling it Cake Burger.
Yes.
For no other reason other than I like cake and I like burgers.
Yeah.
And
it's a great combination.
They are. For years, I've tried getting my wife to make me some big, huge burger for my birthday and put candles in instead of a birthday cake, because I would much rather enjoy that than a store-bought cake, because it's not homemade. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. So anyway, you may have seen the little teaser I put up there on the YouTube channel. We're going to work on some more stuff with that. It's not going to be on this video. We're not going to do the intro, but going forward, still the same YouTube channel.
Yep.
We're probably
same on Instagram, same on Twitter. I've worked on the technicalities with the video game stuff, like the behind the scenes. Now we're working on the editing stuff.
Yep.
I'm still working on the lighting, as you can tell. It's a work in progress because I have no natural light down here. But so sorry for the darkness if we have when we wear our hats, but.
So we're gonna change. So on the YouTube channel, we're gonna change the icon, obviously, change the banner, change the name, coming soon. But if you're subscribed, all that stuff, and you get the notifications, it's not gonna unsubscribe or anything like that. It's gonna be a different name. So if you see our logo up there different, don't be afraid. Just click on it and be like, oh, okay. So we'll basically take the Two Over Comic stuff and the Friday Night Game Night stuff and kind of putting it into their own playlists. So that's what it's gonna be. Honestly, because as much as I love talking about comics, I love talking about this stuff. Sometimes as you're aware, we have our own like social media accounts.
Yep.
On Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Instagram and Facebook, I have a good time on, but I go on Twitter sometimes, and like honestly, I don't enjoy talking to comic book fans at all.
I think Facebook is dead though when it comes to all that.
Facebook, yeah, unless you have like a really strong group and you're promoting the group. But as far, I mean, Twitter, I mean, I said before, I make no secret about this. The comic book fans are some of the most poisonous, venomous people in the world, and some of them are great. But some of the stuff I've been seeing the past couple of weeks, even when like Batman Day happened, there were like Marvel creators just like just talking crap about it, and like it was just so petty. There were things people like all the movie fans talking about, like making like really ridiculous and sensitive remarks about like Zack Snyder, about like his like people in his family and stuff, and just
you leave that out. Yeah, you can focus on how he's a terrible director, but you keep the family shit out. Yeah,
and when the whole Spider-Man Sony thing happened, people show their true colors, and I couldn't be, if I'm being honest, I love comics, I love this community, but there's times where I couldn't be any more disgusted with being a comic book fan.
You know what it is? They're the ones that are gonna ruin the things they love the most. The Star Wars fans are gonna ruin the things they love about Star Wars, and guys, we're never gonna get the exact thing from the comic book or the novels. And we never will, because it'll look like crap.
I don't want to jump on a soapbox or that and rant, but there's other things I want to do that I have much more fun doing. I want play more video games. Obviously, I want talk about cartoons and like other movies and music. Like
Mike and Steve go to the movies. We do go a lot down the pipeline. We also thank you guys for bearing with us. Doing this shit isn't easy, man.
Beneath everything else, the reason why we do it is mostly because it's fun.
Yeah.
And if I'm not having fun, then I don't want to do it. And honestly, the only way I can see continuing to do this and keep on having fun and it being like gratifying to me is to be able to expand and do more things than just comic books. Which don't get me wrong, we're still gonna be doing comic books. Trust me, you can't keep me away from that. But it's just gonna be a little different, and we're gonna do a little bit more. And so hopefully it's going to be better. And if you guys have any suggestions for us, like stuff you'd like to see us do, obviously the same as always, write in the comments.
Yeah, if you have any editing ideas for us or lighting for us, let us know.
Good things are coming. Yeah, and, we're going to try to pump out more videos more regularly. Like I said, like things have happened, like where I've either been like things like I've been sick sometimes, and then
I hurt my back last week. You think I'm a true specimen here?
And like I just mentioned, I was kind of in a slump as far as morale goes, as far as this goes. So, but hopefully things are gonna be different now, and we're gonna move forward, and it's gonna be great.
I'm choking on my spit. I'm so excited about it.
Look what I've done. Mike's getting all choked up.
It's still real, man.
So we'll see you next time, guys. This is probably gonna be the last episode before we start the whole banner.
Yeah.
Okay, Burger.
I'll still be doing this.
Yeah, that's a mainstay.
Yeah.
One more time. Ready?